ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवान् च। श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश। ईश्वरा परमा कृष्ण सच्चिदानन्दविग्रह अनादिरादिर्गोविन्द सर्वकारणकारणम्। नमो नलिननेत्राय वेणुवाद्यविनोदिने राधाधरसुधापानशालिने वनमालिने। महाभावस्वरूपास्त्वं कृष्णप्रियवरीयसी प्रेमभक्तिप्रदे देवी श्रीराधिका त्वं नमोऽस्तुते। So we'll continue reading from Brahma Samhita, the wonderful prayers that has been offered by Lord Brahma to establish the Bhagavad Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, and the relation between them. As in the previous word, text number 54, we have discussed that how everything in this material world is sourced by the Lord and given strength by the Lord. All the prowesses that everyone has, all the capacities, capabilities that everyone possesses, uniquely, all they are given by the Lord. And one more thing that has explained by Brahmaji in the previous verse, that even though every individual is endowed with the different capabilities and powers, but ultimately it's the Lord who is going to liberate you. It's not by your own endeavor you are going to get liberated. But if you render devotional service to the Lord, then what happens? Karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhaja. By rendering devotional service, all the roots of sins, effects of sins, and the tendency to commit sins, everything gets burned away. Dahanti. It burns away everything. And that's why it says that one should perform devotional service. In the next verse, the text number 55, which we are going to discuss now, Brahmaji is explaining about the process that which we adapt, and the result of that, what we are going to get it. Which way we like to connect ourselves with the Lord, according to that you are going to get the result. Do you remember any verse from Bhagavad Gita which speaks about that? From the 4th chapter. Bhakti Shastri. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sthateva bhajamyaham. The way someone reciprocates with the Lord is reciprocally respondent to that person. If you love him, he'll love you more. If you hate him, still he loves you more. It's not that he hates you. But the degree of intensity, that depends upon the process that you take toward going toward the Lord. And here Brahmaji has explained few categories through which you can choose one of them and render service to the Lord. And according to that process, you are going to bear the results. So he says, Yam krodha kama sahaja pranayadi bhiti vatsalya moha guru gaurava sevya bhavai sanchintya tasya sadrushim tanumapurete govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. The translation, it goes like this. Those who contemplate him with the feelings of lust, anger, the natural intimacy of a friendship, fear, parental affection, bewilderment, reverence and servitude, attain bodies that is suitable for associates of Bhagavan with the various degrees of beauty and qualities corresponding to their individual meditations. I worship that original personality, the Lord Govinda. So here it explains that Yam Krodha Kama Sahaja Pranayadi Bhiti. These are the different rasas or relations that you can have with the Lord. And according to that, he says, Sadrushim Tanum Tasya. So you are going to get that sort of a body in the spiritual world. And we have great examples for that. Anybody remembers that the destination of Putana, what she got? Huh? Yeah, but she went back to Godhead, but what she achieved? What particular destination she got? She never became mother. Dhatri, nurse. She became nurse. She came with the evil intention. But when she saw the beautiful face of their Lordship, her motherly affection came up. But because she has a sahaja pravritti, she was born with a particular quality, that of killing the babies. So she tried to kill the Lord. But Lord, being merciful, what he gave her? The destination of Dhatri, nurse. There are so many demons, they came to Vrindavan. They came with the evil intention, either to kill Lord or to destroy the Brajavasis. Mainly they came with the intention to kill their Lordship. But what happened with them? Every one of them got liberated. Generally, if any demons, if they get killed by the demigod or demigoddess, generally they can attain the Swargaloka. But anyone who got killed by their Lordship, they have attended Goloka. That's the difference. Few of them, rather than going to Goloka, they have gone to the Brahmajyoti. So who were they? Those who were meditating on the Lord with Krodha, with the intention of having enmity towards the Lord. What happens to them? Like Shishupal, Dantavakra. When they got killed by the Lord, what happened? Where their soul go? Where they go? Huh? They merged into the Lord's body. Have you heard that?
Yeah, one story I heard that.
Not one story, what Krishna book says. See, that's what we need to read, At least this Malamas, this Purushottamas, we should make a point that at least we should read up to 26th chapter of book, Krishna book, where all the Bal Leelas has explained. If you go today, read that one. The 26th chapter was just 1.5 page, not much. But all the Bal Leelas of the Lord has explained in that. The chapter name 26 is Wonderful Krishna. If you read it every day, you can memorize that thing. Because That's the thing one should supposed to do in this Purushottam Mass. So, whoever demon got killed by the Lord, all they got, they desired the way they wanted to relate themselves with the Lord. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a nice verse. It's 11.5.48. It's a conversation between Devarshi Narad and Vasudeva, the father of Lord Krishna. So he says, Vairena Yandrupatya Shishupala Pundra Shalvadyo Gati Vilasa Vilokanadhyai Dhyayanta Akrata Dhiya Shayanasanadau Tatsamyamapur Anurakta Dhiyam Punakim. So he is asking a question that if someone's constantly fix their mind on a Krishna favorably, what they are going to get? In answer to that, he says, inimical kings like a Shishupal, Paundraka and Shalva were always thinking about Lord Krishna, even while they were lying down, sitting or engaging in other activities. They enviously meditated upon the bodily movements of the Lord, His sporting pastimes, His loving glances upon His devotees and other attractive features displayed by the Lord. Being thus always absorbed in Krishna, they achieved spiritual liberation in Lord's own abode. What then can be said of the benedictions offered to those who constantly fixes their mind on Krishna in favorable, loving mood? Actually the same kind of a verse, but in little bit different words, that comes in Garuda Purana. And that says, Ajnanaihi suravaram samadhikshipanto yam papinopi shishupala suyodhanadhyaha muktim gata smaranam matra vidhut papaha kaha samshaya paramam bhaktimantam janana. Even foolish sinners like a Shishupal, Duryodhana, who showered abuse upon the Lord, were cleansed of all her sins simply by remembering Lord. Somehow or other, their mind were absorbed in the Lord, and thus they attained liberation. What a doubt then is there about the destination of those who are overwhelmed with the devotional feelings for the Lord? So if someone with a krodha, with the enmity towards the Lord, if he constantly thinks about the Lord, then they get the liberation. Then just think. If someone thinks about the Lord in pranaya, pranaya means intimate love or intimate friendship. If in that particular mood, if you think about the Lord, what will be your destination then? Kama, yam krodha kama, sahaja pranayadi bhiti. In bhiti, like Kansa, he always thought about Lord, but in fear. If you read the 14th chapter of, not 14 I think, it's 45th chapter, where Kansa got killed. There, Kamsa was in fear, he was, every moment he was thinking about Krishna. So what happened? He got killed by the Lord and he got liberated. Then anyone who thinks in krodha, in kama, even in moha, if someone thinks about Lord in the moha, then what is their destination? Like a Mayavadis. They are confused. They try to consider the pastimes of the Lord as the way we deal in this material world. They try to bring Lord on the human platform because they are confused. As Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mudhoyam nabhijanati, lokomam aja avyayam. They don't understand that Lord is unborn. They think that because Lord, He comes in contact with the material nature, so He takes the form and He performs this Leela. But it never happens like that. He is Aja, unborn, He is Avyaya. Vyaya means something which get dilapidated. But Lord is Sachidananda Vigraha. He never gets destroyed, He is Akshaya, He is Achyuta. And that's why these foolish who are confused. So these Mayavadis, even they always think about Lord in that way, so they attain the Brahma Jyoti. They attain the Sayujya Mukti. So all the people who are envious of the Lord, who thought about the Lord in anger, they attended Sayujya Mukti. Then what to speak of a people who favorably thought about the Lord? In Pranaya, as a friendship. Then Sahaja, the word that he has used here, Vatsalya. In Vatsalya, if someone thinks about the Lordship in Vatsalya, then definitely he is going to get the position as a father or mother or elderly gopi or gopa in Golok Vrindavan. Guru Gaurava. Guru Gaurava means desire to give respect. It's like a Shantarasa. So what is their attainment? They will attain the Paramatma Swarup of the Lord. Because they have awe and reverence. And then Sevya Bhavi, the person who has a desire to serve. The Bhava means the particular emotion which is natural. So if someone has a natural service attitude towards the Lord, so he becomes Dasa. So what will be his destination? If he constantly think their Lordship in the mood of serving Him as a servant, then definitely he will be like one of the Chitrak, Patrak who helps Mother Yashoda to dress up their Lordship, to decorate Him, to put Him ornaments, and other friends who loves Him to serve. Whenever Lord goes for Gochar and Leela, they massage His feet, they take a peacock feather and try to fan Him so that He can have a comforts. So that particular mood you can attain. So this is what the Bhajana Kriya and the result of Bhajana Kriya has explained here in this particular. Because he says, Sanchintya, if you think always about that, Tasya, Sadrushim, the way you think, that sort of a body he is going to give you. So it depends upon you then. You are the architect of your future. So you decide what you want to be. That freedom Lord has given. He is not forcing you for that. Remember one thing. The essence of Bhagavad Gita is that Lord says, I am not forcing you. He gave the whole knowledge to Arjuna, and what he said? Yad ichhasi tata karu. This is what the ultimate knowledge I have given to you. Now it's up to you. You want to accept it? Take it. I'm not forcing you. Someone can bring horse to the water, but he can't make him to drink it. It's his choice. So that's what the minute independence and free will that Lord has awarded us. Generally people know about this, but they don't accept this thing in their life. So they are so unfortunate. And this particular facility that Lord has given us, and if we take chance and accept that thing, then really our life becomes glorious and our destination also becomes glorious. We need to understand that all these rasas like a Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, these are like a spontaneous attachment. By practice you can't develop them. Oh, today I will practice this and then I will develop that. No. It comes by the mercy of Lord. And when that mercy comes, Tesham evanukam partab. See, that's the problem with us, We are so much engrossed in this material world. We think that everything comes by my endeavor. I do it, then Lord gives me. It never happens. At least in Gaudiya Sampradaya, it never works. Because our whole Sampradaya, our whole philosophy is Ahaituki Krupa. Means causeless mercy. Huh? It's a causeless mercy. How you came? Just go back and think about that, you will come to know. We never had any qualification or never had an intention. You were putting something and by mistake you came to this place. Whose causeless mercy that? GPS never worked and you came here. So that was your endeavor?
The endeavor, I think, like you said now that when you drink water, you have to have the desire to drink water.
No, sometimes circumstances comes that you have to drink water.
Yeah, and then obviously Srila Prabhupada's mercy, otherwise we are not eligible to,
No ways, where we will be. Somebody came and showed some book, we took it. It's not that we endeavor and we went to get that book. There are very few, as it is said here, the last line of this, maybe next verse, last line it says. Only by the causeless mercy of Lord it happens. Guru Krishna Kripa, how you get that one? Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagya Jeev. If someone is really fortunate, then he gets that mercy. And once you get that, then to maintain it or retain it, it's in your hands. For that you have to endeavor. But that endeavor counted afterward. The first is causeless mercy. Lord is, see, look at him, he is standing, Tishtati, it says that he is waiting for us for millions of lifetimes. Who does that? That's his causeless mercy. As per the Srimad Bhagavatam, if you visit the temple, you become totally clean of all your sins. Why? Because you are in front of the Lord and whomever he glances upon, everything gets purified. Do we realize that? I have seen people, they wait for 2 hours to come to the temple, but when they come to the temple, within the fraction of moment they wanted to leave. Now what's the use of coming here then? When you come to temple, come, sit in front of him. He is standing for you, he is waiting to give his mercy. And abundantly, without limits, it is flowing. He is giving his merciful glance. As says that just by his netra kataksha, he is vidhunoti. He clears up what the heaps of sins that we have accumulated, or mountains of sins that we have accumulated for lifetimes. And once we leave this place, immediately the bar of our sins that increases, because we forget. Actually, there is a nice verse. In South India, if you go, most of the previous generation people, they remember that. The tradition is that whenever you go to the temple, you have to sit. They will sit at the one corner and just pray to their Lordship. My Lord, give me death in such a way that it should not be burden on anyone, and I should remember you at the time of death. That's what one should ask from the Lord. That at the time of death, I should remember you, and I should not depend on anyone else. That means, Sarva Dhanamana Parityajya. Make me detached from everything so I can't depend on them. Why do we have to go to the temple? Because that's the place where he is. Externally can be visible and seen, and we can take his prasad, and everything is considered as a prasad. In Hindi, they say prasad means Prabhu ke sakshat darshan. That's why people, when they go to temple, they ask for prasad. Why? Because that's the direct perception of the Lord. You can perceive the Lordship, His mercy through that thing. It may be a tulsi leaf, it may be his mala, any flower that has offered to his lotus feet, anything that comes from him, that is considered as a prasad. Because it is not different from him, it's his mercy. So it needs upon us. First He gives causeless mercy so that we can come here. After that He gives you free choice. Now, if you tested, you liked it, come. Don't, go on your own way. Take your own way as highway and go to hell. But to avoid that also, we have these festivals. In Sanskrit, festival means Utsava. Utsava means, Ut means which lifts you up, and Sava means miseries. What lifts you up from the miseries, that is Utsava. And that's why Lord is not called as a Nayanotsava. The beauty of their Lordship is you can't express it in the words, The whole Nirukti is useless to describe the beauty of the Lord. And that's why He's called as a Nayana Sukha or Nayanotsava. He is the one who really gives you a festival of eyes. So it depends upon you, what way you wanted to have Him in your life. And according to that, you are going to get your destination. And that's why especially in Gaudiya Sampradaya we see there are two different processes. One is Vidhi Marga and one is Raga Marga. In Vidhi Marga there are so many rules and regulations through which you can purify your own existence. And in a Raga Marga, by the mercy of some causeless, by the causeless mercy of some devotee, you attain your nature. And that's why we need spiritual master in our life. Because he is the one who is going to tell us what is suitable for us in the Lord's service. It's not my way is highway in spiritual life. It's their way that we have to track on. And that's why it is said that Mahajano Inagatasa Pantaha. The path that has been established by the great Mahajanas, we have to track on that. No need to create our own path. Like there is one philosophy in India, Yatopat Tatomat. You can have your own way of worship. It's not there. Lord says, if you want to worship me, then this is the way. And what is that way? Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. With devotion, you can offer this to me. And that's what needed. And that is what Sahaja Pravrutti. Sahaja means everyone has born with some particular nature according to the previous activities that we have performed in previous lifetimes. So that is Sahaja Pravrutti. You can't give it up as long as you have this body. That's why it is said you can dovetel that. And how to dovetel that? You have to hear something. So better to hear about the Lord. You want to see something beautiful. See their Lordship. He has a different form, he has performed different pastime. You can see them. Hear about Him, think about Him, cook for Him. You want to eat something? Cook it, offer it to the Lord. Take it as a prasad, make it as a sinless and take. It is sinless also and seedless also. Because there is no Papa Bija in that. That's why it's most important. And that's why it says that Krishna Bhavana Sukhavate. Means if you take Krishna Bhavana, then it gives you more and more pleasure. If someone is not able to find pleasure in Krishna consciousness, then he has to track on the royal road of hell. Because he is not suitable anywhere then. So after developing this pure transcendental bhava, where we have to go? What is our destination? And that has explained in the next text, text number 56. The place that is aspired by the pure devotees of the Lord. In the beginning also it is explained where the Lord stays. Chintamani pragara sadmusu kalpa vakshalaksha vrateshu surabhir abhipalayantam. Lakshmi sahasra shatasambrava sevyamana. That Govinda who is served by the millions of Mother Lakshmis, who stays in that place which is made up of Chintamani. So that same, as briefly he has explained there, now he is elaborating on that. And Brahmaji says, Shriya Kantah Kantah Paramapurushah Kalpataravo Dhruma Bhumischantamani Ganamayito Yamamratam Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanam Abhivamshim Priyasakhi Chiranandam Jyoti Paramapi Tada Swadhyamapi Cha Sayaktra Shirabhistravati Suravivasya Cha Sumahan Nimeshadhrakyo Vavrajati Nahi Yatrapi Samayaha Bhaje Shvetadvipam Tama Ahamiyam Golokamitiyam Vidantaste Santa Kshiti Viralachara Katipaye. So here he is explaining about that wonderful abode of their Lordship. What is our destination? Where we have to go? Like nowadays, for vacation, they call you and tell you, oh, this is the vacation spot. And they narrate everything about that. So this is the destination spot where we have to go. And Brahmaji himself, who has created this material world, he is saying something is far, 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 far better and unimaginable by us. That place is there. See, everyone wants a crystal clear, clean environment. Do we or not? We need that. Why we need? Actually, that's our nature, because we came from that place. So we are looking for that place here in this world. You are trying to find a diamond in garbage. Are you going to get that? No. Because diamond is diamond. You have to go to the mines. And after getting also, you need to know that it is not diamond. Otherwise you will consider it as a piece of a glass and you will throw it. And that's why Brahmaji is explaining here what that dha means. He said Shriyaha. Shriya means Mother Lakshmi, goddess of fortune. Kantaha Kanta. There are innumerable Lakshmis, Mahalakshmis. And who is their husband? Their Kanta. Kanta means husband, is Lord Krishna. Parama Purusha, he is that Parama Purusha. Who is that Parama Purusha? That in the first verse, Brahmaji has explained. Ishvaraha Parama Krishna. He is the one who is the topmost. He is the Parama Purusha. Purusha means who enjoys. He is the real enjoy. And he is the topmost enjoy, Parama Purusha. So where is he? He is standing under the Kalpataruhu. Taru means tree. And Kalpa means desired tree. You desire anything, that is available there. And he is standing under that Kalpataru. Bhumish Chinta Mani Ganamayi. The land there is not like a dust here. They have a Chintamani stones. You won't find the pebbles and kabad kankar nahi milenge wahan pe aapko. Chintamani milenge. What is that Chintamani means? Touchstone. And Toyam Amritam. The water is like a nectar there. And what goes on there? Katha. They always discuss about their Lordship. Ganam, not only they discuss, but they sing. Natyam, everything that happens in very fine way. So you can get attached to that. If someone speaks so sweetly, you love to hear that. The way that they talk, the way they move their eyes, eyebrows. That's what happens, no? That's why how we get attracted to our wives. If she does that, then we get attracted to her. Otherwise there is no attraction. But that's what going on there. And the simple walking is like a dancing there. Gamanam api Vamshim Priyasaki. There, the Vamshi is a Priyasaki. She is the dearmost for everyone. Why? Because that is the one media through which Lord calls up, If you read the Venu Gita from 10th canto of Bhagavatam, it clearly explains that is the real media between each and every living entity and Lord in the Vraja. Lord will call upon that Venu, he will play the flute in a such a way that that particular living entity will get attracted to the Lord. For each and every cow, he had a different tune to call her. For each and every gopi, he had a different tune to call her. Even today they say, if someone has really perfected his bhajan, he can hear that particular tune for him and he will absorb himself in that. That happens still today in Vrindavan. So that's why Vamshi is like a Priya Sakiti. She is the dearmost friend, because friend knows what you need, Friend in need, a friend indeed. So our indeed friend is Vamshi there. And what is that? Chidananda Jyoti. There is no need of having chandeliers or sun or moon. Why? It's Chidananda. It's eternally illuminated. Natad bhasate surya no shashanko na pavakaha. And what is that? Yad gatva nivartante. Someone goes there, he will never comes back. Who will leave that place? Do we? If you are getting everything, that's for free and happily as much as you want. Can you leave that place? No. Paramapi tada swadyamapi cha. Everything is there desirable. And aswadya, you can take more and more enjoyment in that particular. You will take enjoyment in hearing about the Lord. You will take enjoyment in performing the different acts for the pleasure of the Lord. And then what happens? He says, Sayatra kshirabdi stravati surubhivasya samuhan. There are so many cows and they are so much in love with the Lord that their udders are profusely pouring milk, which has created the ocean of milk there. Can you imagine? We love to see the beautiful beaches of salt ocean. Can you imagine to see the milk ocean? And that milk which has Padma Gandha, the flavor of lotuses. Your name itself, Nalini, is lotus. Because lotus is the most desirable flower by the Lord. It's said in Padma Puran, if you really worship the Lordship with the lotuses, He becomes very pleased to you. And He showers. That's why He carries lotus in His one hand. What it shows, lotus means? It shows abhaya, fearlessness, that is bestowed upon us by the lotus flower of the Lord. Further He says, Nimeshadhrokyo va vrajati nahi yatrapi samaya. There is no material time. See, all things are happening. Do you want that it should go away? Something really you love it. You said that, oh, this samay ruk jaye yahan pe. Time should not run. It should get halted here. And that's what happening. There is no present and no past. Sorry, there is no past and no future. Only present. If that happens, what will happen? We always see at the watch, when it's boring, he has to stop now. But that thing never happens there, There is nothing to get bored. Because we are there with Raso Vaisa. All the taste, they comes from there. You are with the source of all the rasas. And that's why Nimeshardhoka. Nimesh means the time that we need to blink our eyelids. Even half of that time never pass away there. Because there is no time at all. It never exists. Time is there only in the material world. Why? Because it has to create and destroy. There everything is eternal. So there is no destruction and no creation. So why time is required? Is there any need? Here we say everything has its own time. Because time has effect here. What is meant by karma? What is the definition of karma? As per Bhagavad Gita. Activities done under the control of time called as a karma. Time that regulates our activities. But there, who is regulating everything? That is cleared in the first line only. Shriyaha Kantaha Kantaha Parama Purusha. There is a Parama Purusha, the topmost person is there who controls everything. So where is the question of Kal? Where is the question of time? So he says that Nimeshardhokyo va vrajati nahi yatrapi samaya. Time never goes anywhere there because he halts there itself to enjoy that moment, He said, I'm not going here, I'm enjoying. Just think of Yamaraj is sitting here to hear Bhagavad Katha. Will be any fear there of death then? Because he himself has forgot his job and sat, because his job is to take away us from this material world. But he is rightly sitting there, then who will do that job? Everything will be halted. And then he said, Bhaje Shveta Dvipam Tamaham Iham Golokam Mityam Vidantaste Santaha Kshiti Viralacharaha Katipaye. It's most important. I am worshipping that abode, Shveta Dvipam. Shveta means what? White. White means what? Huh? No. White means where there is no contamination. It's absolutely pure. So it is that place which is absolutely pure, Shveta Dvipam, and which is called as a Goloka. And who knows about this? Vidantaste Santaha. Santa means whose heart is fully purified, who has perfected the perfection of their life. Those people only knows it as a Goloka. Others, they don't, they think as a myth. They consider as a myth. Hey, aisa bhi thodi hota hai. Because it is unimaginable for them. Huh? But only a pure devotee, they can understand this. And that's what happens. Even today, if you go to Vrindavan, for the people who are really attained some tangible perfection in their spiritual practices, they can see that same wonderful Vrindavan which we read in Krishna book or Srimad Bhagavatam. And they enjoy. And for us, if we go, what we see first thing? Bakwas. So much of garbage. Gutters are overflowing on the road, you can't walk even. But the same place, the siddhas or the devotees who have really attained perfection, they roll upon that road, considering it as each and every peck of dust is touched the lotus feet of the Lord. Can you imagine? There are three things which are still there since the time of Lord's present pastime in Dwapar Yuga. Do you know what are those? Till today you can take their association.
Dust of Raj.
One. Govardhan. Giriraj Govardhan. What else? Yamuna Devi. They are still there. See, Ganga Sparsha Pavani. If you go and take bath in the Mother Ganges, she purifies you. Yamuna Premadayini. If you go to Mother Yamuna, take bath into that, what you are going to get? You are going to get Krishna Prema. Nowadays, she is in such a condition that even though devotees they go, but they don't take bath in Yamuna. So they are not devotees at all actually. Devotee means who goes and immediately takes bath in Yamuna. But nowadays they think that, oh, that's not Yamuna, it's just gutter water from Noida and Delhi. How we can take bath in that? That means you have lost. Because that particular track which flows in Braja, that is Yamuna, real Yamuna. The whatever water comes into that, that becomes Premadayini. And because people with not good intentions and pure heart, when they go and they see the gutter only, because gutter is flowing inside. For whom the prema is flowing inside, they say it's the Premadayini. So they go and jump into that. So that's why Prabhupada said, our process is inward process, not outward. Because Lord is always interested, what you give, He is not at all interested in that. But He always look back what you are keeping with you. Because He tried to see in which you are more interested. And He takes away that thing first. And that's why most of the people, they don't come to Krishna temple. Because they know, if you go there, I'm not going to go to clubs. No enjoyment in the life. Why? Because He takes away everything. Harati ashesha papani. He takes away all the papas from you. The mentality, the desire, the intention that we are carrying in the heart. He takes away all that. And then He says here, Kshiti virala charaha katipaye. Only those this divine abode, which is practically unknown in this world, is known by the name of Golok to only a few rare sadhus. They only know about this. And that's why even though we have 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, all these 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, they are not believing in this particular thing. Each Sampradaya have their own destination. Particularly this Gaudiya Sampradaya, they believe in Golok Vrindavan. None of the other have conception about that. Like Madhva Sampradayas, who are there in Udupi, they follow, for them, Vaikunta, Dwarkadesh. That's it. They don't even expect Srimati Radharani, except Srimati Radharani. Even Sri Sampradaya. Only Kumar Sampradaya they believe, because their philosophy is Radha Sarveshwaro Jayati. For them, the topmost love and care and emotions that who has, that is Srimati Radharani. Even Vallabh Sampradaya also, because they worship Balakrishna. So there is no question of worshipping Srimati Radharani. It's Mahaprabhu. Even before 15th century, before Mahaprabhu came, all the temples, they had only Krishna deities. Lord alone Himself. There is no Radharani. It was Mahaprabhu first who sent Srimati Radharani to Vrindavan. Do you know about that? When Rupa Goswami Pad, he got the Govinda Dev, he established the built a temple for him. Sripad Sanatan Goswami, he got Radha Madan Mohan ji. Madhu Pandit ji got Radha Gopinath ji. But no Radharani. Because that tattva was unknown to the whole world. Nobody was knowing about Srimati Radharani. Even though Brahma Bhagavad Puran explains about that. Even Srimad Bhagavatam never explains elaborately. Even a common person, if he reads Bhagavatam, he will say, where is name Radha here in this, whom you are worshipping? But that came to us because of Sriman Mahaprabhu. The first Radharani, he sent 2 Radharanis for Madan Mohan ji and Govind Dev ji. When both they arrived and they wanted to install them, Madan Mohan took both of them. So Madan Mohan had Radharani, and he said, this is not Radha, she is Lalita. So he is having Lalita ji. If you go to Karauli till today, you will find 2 deities are there. One is Sri Lalita ji and Srimati Radharani. Then again, Mahaprabhu sent one more deity. That deity was there in Jagannath Puri temple itself in the parikrama. Have you been inside? Have you visited all the temples inside? There used to be one Mahalakshmi temple on the right hand side at the west. From there, that Srimati, she came into one Panda's dream and she said, I am not Mahalakshmi, I am Srimati Radharani. Send me to, then they gave it to Mahaprabhu and Mahaprabhu sent it to Vrindavan and she came to Vrindavan. Then Janava Mata, she brought Radharani for Gopinathji. And Gopinathji pulled her also. So she is on the altar right now. She is Ananga Manjari, the younger sister of Radharani. So this is the way that they came to in our life actually. Mahaprabhu brought her because he himself knows that particular mood. He knows that because he came with that bhav and he gave it to us, and that's why only Gaudiyas they can keep faith, and that's why he says Santaha. Only those rare sadhus can know about this place. And by the mercy of Sripad Jiva Goswami, Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we are able to have access to know about this place. Because they have written such a wonderful commentaries on this shloka by which we can understand this place. At least we can read about that, whether we understand or not, but at least we can read about that place. So there are few verses which explains about how is that dham, what is the proper process of doing pure devotional service, what is Mahat Tattva Jnana, as Brahmaji has offered prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam before the creation, and after hearing that prayers, Lord pleased with him, gave him Chatushloki Bhagavat. So same way, after these prayers, when Lord heard all these wonderful prayers offered by Brahmaji, then he also gave 5 wonderful shlokas, 5 instructions, in which he has explained about the Mahat Tattva Jnana, about this creation of material world. So that we will discuss on our next session. So any question, any comment? Or it's bouncer? No question, no comment.
Thank you very much for enlightening me.
Hare Krishna. So next time there are another 6 verses which explains about the whole thing. Shri Brahma Samhita ki jai, Shripad Jiva Goswami Pada ki jai ho, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashaya ki jai, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.